microfinance and microfinance right. Technology. Good afternoon, everyone. Can someone just confirm I'm audible, please?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, you are.
Oh, thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just putting my image on the stuff. I was like, oh, is it my tone or something like that? No, it's really pleasing to be here to grace this edition of the GRC Summit. So we'll the normal introduction remarks, and we're gonna follow a template today. I'm gonna introduce myself and I'll run through how the program of today's event will be, and then I'm gonna introduce the keynote speakers so we can all have first-hand information. Some of them we know, and some of them new to us. But I tell you, it's all power-packed program today. Right. So nothing about me and maybe away from you, but my name is Olu Segun Popular. Most people call me Olu within the industry, and just for short, I director and the principal partner of a consulting firm in the UK, and we're mainly with small and medium-sized businesses with financial crime risk and compliance services. I will be rating today's events, so at some point I'm using the notes speakers and the panelists, and from there the end where everyone is gonna not literally, but I mean we're gonna welcome you as to go along. Looking at today is a very topical issue, and it's all about the GRC and the financial crime prevention. I welcome you, and the theme of this event is zero latency compliance. I know some of us must have researched it, and we talk about zero latency compliance, real-time governance, ESG, algorithm integrity. When I saw the invitation about the theme for the summit, I was like, wow, this is really a recent development in which we all need to know as fun. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to this summit. And our gathering today comes at a crucial time where the tradition about governance, risk, and compliance are not only emerging, but being fundamentally reshaped by an evolving landscape, threats, and opportunity. Collective our collective efforts regarding the integrity of the financial system and our collective efforts is also underpinning the trust that keep the economies, being resilient. This morning, convening this morning is very pivotal, and we're going to look at challenges that we face, especially when it comes to horizon scanning and also linked financial crime typologies, i.e., the use of AI as well in doing our day-to-day jobs. Now, the motivation behind financial crime remains largely unchanged, and mainly got to do with greed, power. We read about them, we watch movies about them. Mainly the funding of illicit acts from organized crime groups. But how do we prevent these things? We're talking about all these things that are blessed with knowledge, and they're going to come in at some point, knowledge and the understanding about G and the team as well. Now, as we all are crime professionals, also non-financial crime professionals, either you work in the finance industry or non-bank finance industry, the common goal for us is to protect our institutions and to safeguard our communities to ensure integrity of the global financial system. And the insight we're going to share today will not only help us to meet our regulatory obligations, but it will also allow us to fight financial crime actively, making a decisive difference in building a stronger and more resilient economy. I want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, our speakers, and who I'm going to be introducing as we go along. Globally, let's talk about the context about GRC and the financial crime 25. Today we face lots of challenges and the approaches are different. And the financial crime problem is growing in scale, sophistication, which means we have to grow. We have to move alongside that trend as we go on. So today, for the next, we'll explore some critical themes that are defining the industry in 2025 and beyond. Now, the landscape in 2025, a couple of days more is going to end. We've seen a lot, personally, in terms of this financial crime space. Now, the landscape we navigated this 2025 is one of unprecedented complexity, absolute complexity. And so globally, we're going to be discussing these things now, the proliferation of AI-driven GRC, the power of collaboration, what it's absolutely something we do, and engaging the regulatory landscape against complexity, so focus on data integrity, which is where one of our keynote speakers will be talking
clients. Yes, now most of the clients, yes, they work online. They set up their accounts online. But what we get? Yes, you can get the scan of their ID of their passport, and you get some photo, maybe verification. Can you tell if it is real or is it a deep fake? With modern technologies, it could be both. It could be real, but it can be faked. Even video could be quite easily faked, slightly. And the answer is that with modern level of with the modern level of technologies, uh, verification of identity, which is based only on scan ID, on photos, on videos, on phone calls, it is deficient by design. It could be broken. It is hacked from time to time, and you cannot do much with this. Either you switch to more reliable government issued digital ID, but they simply do not exist at the global scale, or you need to face the risks, and you need to understand these risks and be ready to them. Next slide. And because of possibility of scams with online identification, it is possible even more. It's possible to when you move to monitoring of your clients' activity, retail clients, essentially may not know, are they really individual, independent Do I accept crypto money or not? Do I want to host crypto exchange and maybe other very lucrative crypto projects? Do I accept them or not? If yes, how do I do with them? And then strategic decisions, then implemented into the policy. You need to dedicate resources. Yes, you need to get people, and you need to get experts. You maybe need some tools, and then you finally you instructions, check this, check that, what are the decision points, etc. And finally, you need to get tools. By tools, I mean not just software or hardware, it's also people. People who are skilled, who know how to do certain things.
are things that are regulatory requirements. So how do we now, we'll talk about zero latency, which is what is just described. How do we use it? Zero latency, the speed of governance, the speed of reporting, how do we use it to make sure that and hopefully catch up after this summit as well, just so that we can discuss and brainstorm and all those things. And we supposed to have a short break at 11:35. 13 minutes ahead. Readjustment, should we carry? I just need thumbs up. Yes, now carry on with our keynote, second keynote, and after we're gonna have a 5 minutes break. Can I get thumbs up if that's okay with that, please? Okay, so I can see 1, 2 thumbs up, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So taking majority is saying thumbs up for that. Thank you very much. So we're continuing the same principles, the same practice, the same theme for the summit for today. Don't forget about it. It's a very long theme. When you put it on a Word document, it looks very, very long, but I kept it within myself to say, oh no, I will always remind us the theme of the summit. It goes zero latency compliance, zero latency compliance, i.e. you're using real-time governance, ESG surveillance, and algorithmic integrity. But that keyword, zero latency compliance. Our keynote 2, we're talking about it the more, and I will come back again. And but the main thing you look at, okay, what zero latency? Latency, there are basically 2 types of latency. Yeah, you've got the slower response, and you got the quicker response. For every financial institutions and non-bank financial institutions, we want to go for the quicker one, i.e. the more you interrogate the system using machine learning, the quicker you get the information, the quicker you get the result, the quicker you get the data, the quicker you begin to carry out the investigation to prevent the risk of any financial crime. So without much ado, I'm glad, pleased to invite Kessie Bodundawala. Kessie will be talking us through about Regops, regulatory operation, Regops in action, building real-time compliance system for Europe's next regulatory horizon. Wow, this is loaded. Please welcome Kessie for things. Thank you. You can do clap up, you can do one of those emojis just to make him welcome, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olu. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, I can, Kessie.
Good. Let me now start with the presentation, uploading the presentation. To start with, when I made my presentation, I was not aware how long I was going to speak. So I have made a complete presentation. So even though I do not finish my entire presentation in the 20 minutes that I have already lost 6 of those 20 minutes. I can see from the timetable that I was given, but I hope we complete as much as possible. Otherwise, I'm sure you will get the presentation so that you can go through it on your own. So
yes,
thank you very much, Olu. I'm very happy to be here. I am on my winter break. I'm in Goa in India, but normally I work a lot from Copenhagen in Denmark. And of course, I come a lot to Africa. I was there about 3-4 weeks ago, and I will be back both in March and in May. So glad to be here. So today's agenda is primarily on the EU and the regulatory landscape. And as you know, EU is kind of the driver when it comes to establishing compliance and regulatory issues, so much so that the EU legislation is also becoming global standards. It has become global standards, for example, in data privacy, data protection, and perhaps also quite a bit on the EU AI Act. So the regulatory landscape is quite complex and is quite elaborate. There are about 31 different directives and regulatives that the companies have to follow, and many or most of them have also a global jurisdiction. And that needs a strategic program because this is all about transformation. It's all about digitization because we will go along and see that you cannot do all of the stuff that is required manually. And of course, now with AI becoming so cheap, so available, so readily available, it's easy for us, kind of easy for us to be able to ensure that this transformation is done with the AI and is completely automated because this is what real time is about. Real time is about automation. Let's see if I can get, yeah, real time is about the automation. So therefore, we have to figure out how to navigate from the European regulatory frontiers, and these regulatory frontiers are now also global standards. Therefore, we need some technology, we need some digitization, we need standards, we need frameworks, and then we have IO, at least something that can everybody can agree upon, everybody can use, and AI is developing very, very fast. Millions and billions of euros and dollars on are being invested. Therefore, the next generation is not 20 years from now. The next generation is probably only 2 years from now. And therefore, how can we ensure that we are ready, are future-proof, so that we are leading the compliance? So, therefore, these 31 different mandates that we have, these are now all technology centric because we need to have real-time reporting, real-time transactions, real-time risk management, and so on. So all of this requires us to make sure that the interconnected mandates from the EU compliance landscape can be working together, integrated. Therefore, we cannot have silos. We have to crush and smash the silos. And therefore, we also need integrated frameworks because of the technology, because of the data, and above all, the sustainability component that there are also there. And therefore, we must ensure that these regulations apply directly, these directives with the transposition that can be for each country, each of the 28 countries, must happen speed in implementation. So we have this digital and AI governance ecosystem. First, we have, I will quickly go through them. We don't have much time, but we have the GDPR, then we have the DORA, the Digital Operational Resilience Act. We have the Network Information Security. We must not mix that with NIST, N-I-S-T, that's a US framework, but Network and Information Security Directive from the EU. And then, of course, we have the EU AI Act, the EU AI Act that everybody in the entire world is talking about, probably also as a global golden standard. It is based on risk. You need some frameworks, and you need digitization, data transformation. It's very, very because it focuses on governance, data quality, transparency, human oversight, focuses on the high-risk systems, and also on accountability, transparency, and so on to avoid these of the high risk. Then we have the Data Act, the Digital Markets Act, Digital Services Act. We have the Financial Crime and Market Integrity that focuses on anti-money laundering, counter-terrorist financing, the AMLD6 and AML authorities and AMLA, and the customer due diligence, the suspicious activity reporting, the Markets in Financial Instruments Directive, the MiFID, and Markets in Crypto Assets, MiCA regulation. We continue finally with the sustainability, the ESG supply chain, also known as the CSRD, and also the ESRS, which is on the European Sustainability Reporting Standards, and the Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive, the CSDDD. And finally, we have the EU Taxonomy on Regulation. So, as you can see, we have a lot to do. when it comes to the European part. Let's now also beyond the jurisdictional Brussels effect, we have that are global regulatory compliance activities or mandates. First, we have the financial crime governance, which is the foundation, is on the AML, the KYC, the FTFF, and other areas that focus on the customer identification, transaction monitoring, and risk assessments. Then we have the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act and the UK Bribery Act. The Foreign Corrupt Practices Act is the US Act that is only abroad. It's not applicable in the United States. And then we have the Sarbanes-Oxley, the internal control over financial reporting. So these are all different acts that we also need to focus on. We also have the data protection and data privacy with multiple global fragmentation, whether you are in Russia or Brazil or India and so on. But the CCPA, the California Act, and the California Privacy Rights Act are also some of the other data privacy protections that we need to focus on. And then, of course, there's the GDPR-related directives from China, which is the people, or the LGPD from Brazil, and so on. And then to that we have multiple industry-specific US regulations, for example, the HIPAA, which is the health, the PCI DSS, which is on the payment, which is a standard, it's not a regulation or a directive. And then we have multiple international standards and the frameworks. These are all of the different areas and issues that we have to focus on. Just to give you a background of the regulatory landscape that we have in the EU, which is multi-jurisdictional, and what is there in the global area. So all this requires a GRC program. A governance risk compliance program also include the component of IT and cybersecurity so that you can start your transformation journey. So we have to go from risk integration, risk management, the old school risk management. With AI, you can even continue to go to risk intelligence, but what it requires now is not risk controls, but orchestration. Orchestration so that compliance management, together with the strategy, can bridge the gap between the technology, the capabilities, and the work they've been doing so far as the risk management is concerned. So besides this orchestration, and of course here we also need a conductor, and this particular conductor is going to focus on the frontiers of regulatory compliance and how you, as either officers, directors, or in this particular situation, a conductor, because we are talking about orchestration, can focus on the governance components. What are different mandates that require you to have governance components? If you're going to go through all of these governance components, you can do about 50, 60, 70 areas, but you need to choose depending on the size and depending on the maturity level that you have. You must have resilience with regard to the DORA and the NIST that we just talked about, and also the ICT third party. All of this resilience requires you to have oversight, and you must do due diligence in each and every component, every situation there is. We have some human aspects, which is the rights of the data source or the and how governance obligations will require you to ensure that you share, you report, you have the right protocol and the rights of the data subjects that are accomplished and maintained. You then have the sustainability component, because all of this requires a lot of sustainability, and as you all know, we have a global warming. I can assure you global warming here in Goa, in India. Every afternoon right now it's quite warm, but in the morning it's cold, quite cool. So there is some changes that is occurring in the global warming, whether it's too much hot or too much cold. Whatever it is, we need to focus on, and therefore the CSR directives requires all organizations to do something and report what they are doing to ensure digital compliance transformation continues to be on the right track. Because remember, this is all a journey that we have to ensure that we can do what we can to be on the right track and to reach the destination in the time and the resources that is allocated. Then comes the AI. We have different types of AI. You can have predictive intelligence so that you can have the advanced machine learning models that can help you do a lot of things. You can have agentic AI, you can have predictive AI, you can have different types of AI, again, depending on the maturity level and the skills and the resources that the organization have, so that the transaction is conducted in the patterns and the control failures are identified before they occur. And this is where the predictive intelligence comes into the picture, and this is where when that are doing transformation in real time. Then we have the Gen AI, the general applications, the large language models that can be your agents and be your agents to draft the regularly and analyze it for complexities and any adversities that may occur, that you also use the multiple AI, whether it's predictive, whether it's general, or whether it's autonomous, because where online and comes into the picture real time, so that these operations autonomous implement systems using robotic automations. And the most particular example is the cars that are working. And if you go to many countries in the world, for example, in San Francisco, you have taxis autonomous, and I can assure you they work in a way. In order to do all of this, we need to have standards. We need to have frameworks. And there are multiple frameworks available, multiple vendors as well who come with their own frameworks. Be careful about those, because there is also a component of a vendor lock-in if you use those frameworks that are given to you by the vendors. Rather, spend some money and take some time to use some ISO standards, so that these can also ensure and inform you how you can continue your journey. We have here chosen 4 different standards: the ISO 37301, which is on the standards requiring integration with the governance structures. Remember always that the 1 in the ISO is the beginning on what it is the requirements are, and the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 they go on with the way that you're going to do it. The 37002 is the whistleblowing guidelines. This is also one of the legal requirements that there are on a global basis. You have the ISO 37001, which is the anti-bribery framework, and very important, the 42001, which is on the AI and the following, that tells you how you're going to approach it. So these are some of the frameworks that you must use, so that you can continue your journey with regard to the GRC capabilities are future proof. Because the focus will be on the assets. It is the assets that you have. It is the IP assets, or whatever is your that is your crown jewels of the organizations, whatever they may be, depending on the trade that you are in. These assets need to be protected. And here again, we are going to use the AI to ensure that the asset intelligence is unified in the registers, and you need to have a unified central registry, so that the next generation automated GRC is functioning. It has to be interconnected, because all of the regulations were integrated. They were all together. There are quite a few of them. So therefore, there has to be an interconnectivity, also because of the regulatory requirements that there are, but also because of the because of the interconnectedness, the overlaps that there are between all of the different regulatory that we went through. We need to analyze it, and of course here AI is going to help you, because AI can analyze huge, vast amounts of data, while we can perhaps analyze 3, 4, 5 things. But AI can analyze loads and loads of different data, and can also predict, and can also forecast at the same time. And then, of course, I don't know what's happening. Somebody is okay. So, in order to do all of that, we need evidence. We need documentation. Okay, let me continue. I can hear different voices coming through the mic. So, in order to do all of that, we need the evidence and we need the documentation.
Yes, Cassie, you want to unmute yourself, please? So we can. Yeah, please. Thank
So,
you.
do I have more time, or shall we finish it now?
Yes, we can finish. Well, I've got literally 5 minutes for you, so that we're all on time.
Oh,
so
yeah, 5 minutes is more than enough. I'm okay.
Thank you.
So therefore, we need to have this compliance leadership that we are working towards, which is future-proof. And in order to do the future-proof, we need to have the business integration, so that all of the compliance activities are integrated, and AI can help you quite a lot, also with regards to the resilience. So the conclusion: real-time systems have to win. There are multiple intersections between compliance, because these are silos, periodic checks that will not be helpful at all. This is not periodic stuff that we are doing. We are doing it on time, real time. In order to manage new regulatory horizons, we need to adopt a single unified GRC platform. You need to have a single unified IT platform as well. Your legacy systems have too many old school platforms, IT platforms. You need to integrate it or do something so that you have one uniform GRC platform. You need to do a predictive control testing. You need to have dynamic policy, and everything with the new way of doing things real time is continuous. It's continuous controls, continuous risk intelligence, and so on, so that you are always on top of risk that are there. So this is what we have, and this is what we do. We have multiple different trainings. We have trainings in the Chief AI Officer. We have trainings in the DPO, Data Protection Day, Data Protection certifications. We have the Data Protection Day. This is free. You are welcome to join. So is IT. The global conferences are free. However, the certifications, these cost some money. So this is all for me. I think I have used my time. I started 6 minutes late, so I'm perhaps right on time. So much for listening to me, and I'm sure you will get the presentation and you can go through it. It does contain a lot of detail, and there are also notes on each of the slides. So thank you very much. I enjoyed presenting it for you.
Well, Cassie, thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate. I know we're ahead of time. Ask a question at this point. I've got some time in my hands. Does anyone got any questions for Cassie or at any point in time? Or that will keep it to the end of the session. If you have just drop it in the chat, and I'll pick you up and ask the question. Right on point, Cassie. I mean, if we want to look at the world being a global village, all the things you mentioned are all, how should I say, being incorporated. Everyone is racing to incorporate it, and a couple of days ago, I was just making some research about EFANs and looking about Europe and now how does it really make sense in Europe. And now I see a couple of organizations are being fined. Being fined. Some will find for the E part of it, some will find from the S part of it, and some will find for the G part. All these things are gonna be much more effective when we do a right, effective when we tend to use AI and machine learning tools. Thank you so very much for the presentation. I really appreciate. Is there any top questions for now? Thank you. High level summary. Yeah. Thank you. Let us take a break. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a break for. Say I'll give it a break for 10 minutes, so we can convert here by 12. And so we'll come back here. This is the point where we want to go into the. This is where we are pan and to 8 panelists mentioned before, and I'm going to allocate time to these panelists, and we'll be asking them some questions. Like, you two are also encouraged to ask questions in areas where you feel you want to know, and i.e. in terms of the team. Zero-latency is very, very key in terms of real-time governance, in terms of algorithm, in terms of AI governance, in terms of building automation, in terms of ESG surveillance. Like I say, a couple of times are roving around some European-based companies, i.e. some not for sustainability reasons, some for governance reasons. And so if we have all these kind of questions, just keep it. We've got our panelists are very, very intelligent, like I say. So we'll take a short break. Let's convert Jet 2 minutes to 12 o'clock, and we'll begin the second sessions. So normally the break should be 5 minutes, but 5 minutes again. So we'll pause this time now. Admin, you please pause the recording and allow everyone. I mean, you can just yourself, have a cup of coffee, stroll around, just say hello to one or two people. You can even have a chat, whatever you are amongst yourself, discuss the topic, make some quick research on the internet, what you feel you want to ask the panelists, and I'm sure that we've got capable to answer your questions. But peradventure, the questions cannot be answered today. Be rest assured that we'll get the questions and we'll definitely provide the answers in as soon as possible. I don't want to say in due course, as soon as we can. So let's take that quick break. I will come back here at 12 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Actions. We have to verify individual to make sure that they're older than they are. Background information is very, very, very important. Also check risk intelligence too. Help you to see the problem before it's effective. And we do that quietly in the background and in real time. Here at Poise to Check, we help to identify those anomalies in transactions. We help to verify individual to make sure they are older than they are. We help are not genuine, and we help to make sure that we flag any information that might be very suspicious in action, and also verify information and make sure that they are accurate. We also have organizations to make sure that they comply with their local and international laws or regulations or standards, and make sure that they apply, and we help them to reduce any risks or that may cause reputational damage to the organization. Here at Oyster Check, our application systems, they are AI, which makes it more fast, accurate, on the spot, and deliver on the promises. In inspiration is very simple. It's doing things right, supporting organization and individual in doing things right actually. Of course, the governance risks and compliance of financial crime prevention is an initiative by the government. And when we have done this for the last 6 years, this is our vision. And this we are focusing more into Africa for African countries. We need to make sure that Africa gets it right, not just only a country, but Africa as a whole. Every country is now complying with regulations. They meet the best is all around the world. We want to be able to support individuals and professionals within compliance and crime in carrying out their work, their duties in ways that we are on the same level across any jurisdiction or else. We also introduce a way to recognize individuals, organizations that are doing so great and helping to shape the culture, the culture, the compliance culture, and also helping to fight against financial crimes across the industries. Just an award events, we invite them, direct them, we monitor them over the week. We see how well they are doing and they take and their impact across their work. Now is our sixth year, which is more global. Up to localizing our controls, localizing our framework to reflect Africanism, Africanism, PRC, and financial crime. How can we resolve solution problems using our own local ideas? We also introduce a way to recognize individuals, organizations that are doing so great and helping to shape the culture, the risk culture, compliance culture, and also helping to fight against financial crime menace across all the industries. Introduce an award events. We invite them, we monitor them over the week, see how they're doing. And over the years, we have seen how they greatly impact where they work. Now is our sixth year. We hope that we can make it more global and help to spread this good news of localizing our controls, localizing our framework to reflect Africanism, Africanism, PRC, and financial crime. How can we resolve solutions, problems, using our own local ideas? we so introduce a communication that are doing so to helping to shape the culture of the rig culture, culture, and also helping to fight against financial balance across the industries. We introduced an award event, we invited them, recognize them, we monitor them over the years, see how well they are doing, and over the years we have seen how they made a positive and great impact across where they're working. Now is our 6th year. We thought that we could of global. We have to spread this good news of localizing controls, localizing our framework to flex African.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the presentation. Hello, can you hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up or clap hands if you can hear me, please? Hello, am I audible? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, you're audible. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, so welcome back. Nice presentation there. It was just listening, and yeah, it's been good for me so far, and I know it's been so as well for you. So just a quick one about the program for today. It's a full part today, so I've got the next 1 hour to run through the core of the second phase of the summit, which we're going to be bringing analysts into practical question and answer sessions. And please, I want everyone, so write down your question in the chat. If you need help for now to get around the chat room, please don't feel let out. I just mention it, and one of the admin members are going to just sort it out for you. And just shortly after the summit, by 1:15 p.m., 1:15 p.m., continuing with the awards for this afternoon. 1:15 p.m., we'll continue with the awards. So please stay by. You might be an award winner. Fingers crossed, and everybody is a potential winner. And yeah, so please stay by. It's going to commence from 1:15, and I think it runs down to 3 p.m. So that's the information about the awards. I'll be here, but I'll be quiet because I'll not be talking at that time. I'll be listening. I'll be listening. It's my first time. I must tell you, it's my first time, and I have really enjoyed the 2 keynote speakers. Thank you, Casey and Alexis. So now we want to go into a more targeted phase of the summit by asking the keynote speaker or the panelists, direct questions. We want to test the knowledge, the intelligence about the subject, which we have confidence that they know. Like I said, we're going to be covering about 9 to 10 areas within the 1 hour we have. We're going to include question and answers as well, and we're going to be covering the theme for today itself, zero latency. We're going to cover that, and zero latency, compliance, and real-time governance. So I've introduced the panelists before, but I'll take this opportunity again to reintroduce them very quickly in a few seconds so that we can keep abreast of the names. I've got Fiona Figura. Fiona, she's a director, head of compliance for Capital Markets Elite Group in the UK. And Fiona, good afternoon and welcome if you're here. And we'll go Matthew Bill. Matthew Bill is the MD of Comsure. I actually know Comsure. They're based in Jersey, but I've not had dealings with them. I actually know Comsure. And it'll be good to hear Matthew's to share from his wealth of experience and knowledge about putting AI and putting zero latency into practice. And we're going to have Dr. Tatiana. Oh, no, not Dr. Tatiana. I'm going to have Oleksiy, he was one of the keynote speakers. Oleksiy Feshenko, thank you very much. And we're going to have Ndidi Ahiezu, well, Director MLRO Advisory for WGRCFP. And we're going to bring back Kessie as well, and Onag van der Berg. So we start off with our panelist questions. I'm going to be the moderator. I'm going to be shrewd with timing. So, and yeah, we're just going to make it much more interactive. It's not dull moment at all. So the way it goes is going to be, every session is going to be between 8 and 10 minutes. I'm going to split the time amongst the panelists, and we're going to ask 1 or 2 questions, and from there the audience, you can ask your questions at the end of the presentation. Like I said, please pump in those questions in the chat room, and I will take them as I go along and ask the panelists as well. Number 1, we go to number 1. So what are we looking at? We're talking about zero latency, compliance, and real-time governance. So what it is what compliance shocks defined 2025. You know, the institution actually move towards real-time. Because it's a moving train. Everybody moving across, like in that train, where the function I support at the minute now, we tend to use more of machine learning, about AI tools. Yes, we're moving. Is that the same thing for everybody? And what's need redefining or redesigning by 2026? So Matthew Bell, good afternoon, and I want you to be the lead for this question first. Is how can governance frameworks evolve to support real-time decision making?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all well, and thank you for the introduction. You need to explain how you know me other than my profile on LinkedIn. We'll talk about that later. Okay, your question actually has a very important word in it, which is evolve, because it is evolving. It is not a revolution. We've got to remember that a lot of people on this conference aren't all HSBC or Standard Bank. Some of us may be 1 or 2 man businesses or 2-person businesses. So we can't actually have these that we're all talking about today and overnight. So we need to evolve into them. So I think that's really important. But thinking about moving to real-time decisions, because historic works are very much non-real-time. So the first thing I want to get rid of, and I get rid of them with my clients and where I can, is I hate processes and I hate things called Excel spreadsheets. I hate them with a vengeance. And the fact that we're now in the fintech, regtech world, the fact we have AI now, the fact that a lot of this is very cheap rather than expensive as it used to be, we have an opportunity now of ditching some of this old. It goes back to 1972. So guys, it is 2025. Let's now leverage regtech and AI. We've had some great speakers already talk about tech AI, so I'm not going to pick on what they're saying. Remember, there is data analytics, there's cloud system, there's stuff in work. It's all out there. So it's about education. What we need to do is make sure that with that education, we're adopting fluid governance. What do I mean by that? Well, that's not just sitting down every quarter and having a board meeting. This is 24/7, 365 governance. So we need to make sure we're empowering people in our organisation to make decisions. That's away from lower levels all the way through to the board, making sure that we can manage those uncertainties in real time rather than having real time. Got some feedback. So with that, let's some feedback loops. Let's make sure we've got on dynamic policies rather than those static things that are on Word documents. Sign off and change. By the time I change, the horse has bolted. So I think to close my answer in regards to that question, let's align our framework. Let's get C-suite ammo. Let's make sure we are doing maturity assessments. Let's see where we're at, not just waiting for the regulators to come in. making sure that we're continuous, but with steady evolution. That way, I think we'll get there together, all of us. I think that's my thoughts on that one.
Thank you very much, Matthew. It's nice to sing straight to the point. I like the idea where you sort of not looking into express and everything, which is really, yeah. I know.
I can't use them either.
Oh, yeah. I think most businesses are trying to step away from that, to use data analytics, and in those things. That's why we are champions for the future, and we're going to incorporate some of these things, in our daily lives as well. Thank you so much. Thank you for that straight, direct, and point answer to that part of the question. So the second part of the question I've got under that same topic is for Cassie, and it goes to say, what practical algorithm structures are needed to enable zero-latency compliance? 3 minutes, please, Cassie.
Thank you very much, Olu. If I want to explain zero latency in 2 words, then those 2 words would not be hello Dolly, but it would be instantaneous and continuous. Instantaneous and continuous is what zero delay occurs when we are focusing on zero latency compliance. But in order to spend my 3 minutes in the right way, let me now focus on the areas of IT governance areas where we, for the first, want to employ continuous deployment, so that governance is a gatekeeper, focusing on the governance mechanisms like continuous automated testings, so that controls are also executed automatic and frequent, depending on the structure that has been developed. We must also ensure that there is real-time monitoring, and part of continuity is the continuous controls, the CCM, where automated agents and APIs constantly verify the compliance status. And of course, this is now done on time and real line. Zero latency compliance is achievable in turning the regulatory requirements into operational standards. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much, Cassie. I really appreciate it. Nice and punchy. Like I said in the earlier part of my introduction today, I said we've got fantastic and knowledge, persons, within the attending summit today. Thank you very much. We'll move quickly and swiftly into the second question. It's got to do with algorithmic integrity and AI governance. AI has been the talk of the town the past couple of years now, and in 2025, I can tell it's been so much successful in business. And now I'll go back again to Matthew. Matthew, it's one question for you as well. How should boards exercise oversight of algorithmic decision making? Please.
Okay, I think we should just tell everyone the reason you're picking on me is I do have to rush off at 1 o'clock. So for my sins, you're picking on me. Okay, let's make sure we know what we're talking about here. So algorithmic decision making. So what we talk about here, we're talking about those systems that a lot of the particularly bigger organisations are using for our credit scoring, fraud detection, job applications, content recommendations on platforms, and what have you. So it's using the computer says no model, or computer says yes, hopefully, in regards to my credit. So the problem we have with algorithmic systems is that there is bias in these systems. We can't get rid of bias. Humans program them, so we've already got bias in it. there is lack of transparency, and that can then lead to ethical pitfalls. I think it is important to remember that GDPR does remind us that it's not a right of a firm to impose this. It's still a choice of the consumer to make sure that they know that there's decisions being made by a computer and human. But moving on from that, if all our customers want us to be more speedy, we're going to go with them. So yeah, AI, that's where we are. So AI can definitely move us along that line in regard to the systems which historically may be more laggy. AI hopefully can help us deal with those matters of bias, transparency, and the ethical pitfalls. However, I think as the previous panelists talked about, it's about making the board are on board. So what do we need to do? Well, the first thing is it's about education. Education. Everybody if you don't have education, look, I'm 60 years old, education is throughout some technology. Most boards that I meet pretty much my stereotype. They may be male, whatever, however, we're of an age. Therefore, we need to be brought up to speed. So let's get that education up. What about the composition of the board? Let's have a look at that. What about our nets? If we don't have capacity to bring executives on with particular skill sets, let's make sure that we've got nets, or let's make sure we've got specialist advisors come as an advisor to the board. But let's not be silent on the information. Being silent on this problem just means that we're blind to the problem. If we're really lucky, let's get into the C-suite and let's get a chief AI officer to sit alongside our data protection, our technology guys. Let's have the luxury. So the bigger we are, the more luxuries we have in regard to this. Ultimately, going back to that education, it's then drilling down to the C-suite and their teams, their business units sit below them and making sure you've got the education, they've got the systems, and they've got the understanding. So what do we do then? Well, it's about making sure that we have that governance policy framework, so policies and procedures. How do we know they're right? Well, let's get the champion of this topic, an owner, accountability officer, making sure that then we ethical principles to address those matters I talked about earlier about bias, fairness, transparency, and etc. Making sure that if compliance officers can't do the compliance monitoring program assessments, making sure that we can bring 30 people in to help us going assessments and audits, but making sure that we're doing them regularly. Like any good risk assessment, if this is new, those tests should be more often than not. Why? Because we can only trust them for a while. The longer we've had them, the more we can trust them. That means that we can push that with a lower proportion of risk. And then again, with information, that information can come into the board. It can through Power BI, so I don't have to wait for a board meeting to go onto my screen to see where my KPIs are, where I'm hitting on any given day. I'm not waiting for somebody to build an Excel report that's 3 months old, delivered in 3 months' time at a board meeting. I hate Excel sheets. That's me. That's my thoughts.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Really on point, on point. In fact, next question I was going to ask is going to be like, what legal liabilities arise when AI tools? But you've actually covered everything, because you talk about the education piece. I was just nodding my head. I'm talking about silence means consent. We don't have to be silent, and so this. If we don't do these things correctly, like you mentioned, then it can lead to delays, then it can lead into fines and censure and all the kind of things like that. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time today. So without further ado, I'll move on to the third panel question. So now I want to talk about Regops. Automation of regulatory operations. Regulatory operations is a very wide subject, but we'll talk about focus. We achieved it. So what is still there within the Regops roadmap? So to answer that, I'm going to be asking Ona van der Berg a question and start to say, how can organizations integrate Regops without issuing legal governance frameworks? So Ona, over to you, please. we got on the line? Have we got on the line today? Oh, no. Okay. So we yeah, we can I don't think we've got on online. I think that we got on the line by chance. Right, we just move on to the next plausible questions. I think it's for Fiona.
Yes.
It's for Fiona. Hi Fiona, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Olu.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. so yeah, we're talking about Regops and automation. So by if we have owner coming at some point, then we're going to the question and so talk about Regops 2025, 2026. Has it been achieved? Has there been any gaps? Then they still exist. So to you, Fiona. So which Regops automation genuinely reduced money laundering, terrorist financing risk versus creating over-reliance on systems?
So in today's regulatory landscape, Regops automation promises efficiency and scale. That's the purpose of automation, really, to make our lives easier, to make life a little bit simpler. But as we integrate these tools into our AML and counter-terrorist financing programs, we must ask ourselves very critical questions. Which automations generally reduce money laundering and terrorist financing risk, and which simply shift our dependence people to systems? True risk-reducing automations do three things: enhance visibility, reduce manual error, as well as support explainability. Firstly, to touch on enhancing visibility, it's important that enhancing visibility does not obscure it, but rather, for example, automating transaction monitoring models that service behavioral outliers can enrich alerts with contextual data and evolve with new typologies and genuinely help us to detect threats earlier, because they have the ability to detect patterns faster than a human can. And so they expand our field of view without diluting human judgment. To touch on reducing manual error in high volume, rules-driven tasks such as finding duplication and this media triage, as well as entity resolution. When automation provides data quality and consistency, analysts spend less time cleaning data and more time understanding the risk. And so they are now able to focus on more compliance issues, as opposed to doing the run-of-the-mill transactions where they're just kind of clicking through, doing like a checkbox exercise, if you want to call it that. And thirdly, explainability. Automations that provide clear rationales for flag why a customer, a pattern, or a transaction is high risk strengthens both the analyst decisions as well as regulatory confidence. At the end of the day, you have a regulatory responsibility, and so your regulator has to be confident that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. And so these systems don't replace expertise, but rather they scale it, right? It doesn't make our life, but it's important. But not every automation is helpful. Sometimes it creates over-reliance, and that can actually increase money laundering and terrorist financing risk. As I mentioned earlier, it can result in persons just treating tasks as a black box or a check-ticking exercise, which you don't want to forget. It's important to note that once you're using AI, you have to recalibrate the softwares from time to time. It's not a one-and-done exercise or set and forget. You leave it there and you have the same thing running for years. You simply cannot do that. Recalibration is important, and not just recalibration, but documenting of that recalibration is extremely important to show that you're doing what you're required to do. These are the things that your regulator will expect, right? And so the goal of Regops is not to automate compliance out of existence, but rather it is to augment human expertise, to basically free our people from regulation, that they can then focus on interpretation, escalation, and the nuanced understanding of behavior that in reality, an algorithm can really fully replicate the quality of it, right? So it's about developing professionals and helping them to become more efficient with the support of AI. So the right question isn't how much we can automate, the question is, how do we ensure that automation strengthens and not substitutes our responsibility? Because at the end of the day, if a regulator knocks on your door, they're not going to speak to your AI, they're going to speak to you, the compliance professional. And so if we get that right and we build programs that are not only efficient, but resilient, adaptive, and genuinely risk reducing, it supports any organization and bolsters the compliance framework.
Fantastic.
I hope I stopped it.
Fantastic. Yeah, don't go away, Fiona. Don't go away, please. Just stay with me. I'm going to bring you back. I'm going to bring you back at some point as we go along. But I say it's been really, really fantastic so far. I'm enjoying the sessions from everyone. I'm really enjoying it. So straight on, and I take you from the audience. Just put your notes down. I've got time allocated for question and answer, and we will do all things and wrap up before 1 o'clock. Trust me. And I move straight on into the next topical issue. Topic here is around the ESG. ESG Europe, being fine ESG, but let's go very specific now by getting into the IAZU into the panel seat now. So indeed, please, I want you to just explain to us how can ESG data be used to identify either financial crime risks? Please, thank you very much indeed.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Hi, Olu. Thank you so much for having me. With this question, if you kind of think and ask what's the major intersection between ESG and the main answer you'll get is data, right? So ESG data is increasingly valuable in hidden financial crime risks because it can give us visibility into more what you call more qualitative behavior, and exposures rather than the traditional and quantitative controls that we get from financial crime EMA, if you like. So when we analyze ESG indicators alongside our standard KYC and money data, we then are able to cover potentially different to what we'll get from a fin crime data set. So I'll give an example. For example, supply chain data can highlight issues or risks around modern slavery or labor exploitation, have governance indicators that may expose weaknesses around bribery, fraud, and things like that. And when you think about the environmental data such as evidence of illegal mining, logging, and all of that, related activity. Other data like controversy and whistleblower reports and inconsistencies in sustainability disclosures from an ESG perspective can also serve as early warnings of kind of board misreporting or broader misconduct, right? So in practice, when we integrate ESG data into our standard due diligence from a KYC fin crime perspective, as well as our ongoing monitoring and maybe an enterprise risk assessment, we may better able to define elevated risk profiles and also have more context as to those risk profiles. It also allows to challenge what customers disclose, understand the integrity of their operations, and take a more kind of forward-looking and holistic approach to financial crime risk management. So I was saying in finishing that ESG data would not replace traditional fin crime controls, but what it does, it materially distinguishes us, well, strengthens them by providing an additional layer of non-fin crime intelligence, which then exposes vulnerabilities before they crystallize into regulatory or reputational harm.
Which is excellent. I like that part where you say non-fin crime intelligence, and I like that part because when we investigations like that, you don't necessarily look at all financial part of it. You look at the non-financial and around ESG. I know you've gotten around washing, greenwashing, and greenwashing, all those kind of things. I think that will form part of the financial crime elements of the ESG ones. Wow, fantastic indeed. Fantastic. Thank you so very much. But don't worry, bring you and Fiona back into this same fraud and financial crime trends 2025 and 2026. I'll start Fiona. And Fiona questions are going to be around sanctions. And indeed, the questions is going to be still around environmental one again. So I'm going to start with you first, Fiona. Just in 3 minutes, we've got time here. So what sanction trends became more sophisticated in 2025?
So 2025 has really proven to be a very dynamic year in terms of the geopolitical landscape. There's so happening in the world currently. And so in looking at sanction evasion techniques, it has become remarkably more sophisticated, adaptive, as well as multidimensional. This year really has shown us that actors intent on circumventing restrictions are no longer relying on simple tricks. And I often make a joke and say that, you know, even bad actors are also using AI. We're seeing the deep fakes and all of these things as well. They have become very innovative, and they truly look towards exploiting company gaps, maritime logistics, as well as corporate networks. But one of the most developments we have seen recently is the maritime evasion. Networks known as shadow fleets have expanded their operations, and they've started using deceptive practices, such as the off of automatic identification of the AIS. And what they do is they utilize these systems to hide vessel movements, engage in dark ship-to-ship transfers, which is far from conventional shipping routes. And these tactics make it far harder for authorities to track sanctioned oil and cargo movements in real time. And they reflect an industry-level response to enhanced surveillance. But one of the things I have seen the US doing more recently is they have now implemented the installation of radars. And so they are, despite the turning off of the automatic identification systems, radars seem to be quite helpful for them to circumvent that from the bad actors, right? So additionally, one of the other things that's concerning is the cryptocurrency and digital asset channels. This have become a preferred vehicle for sanctions actors because of the anonymity that cryptocurrency and digital assets provide. And so sanction exchanges continue to operate via informal messaging platforms and peer-to-peer networks, enabling cross-border flows with minimal oversight. Meanwhile, crypto firms in multiple jurisdictions have been identified as nodes facilitating the movement of linked sanction entities. And this now highlights how digital asset ecosystems can be leveraged to sidestep traditional finance controls, because you see, they no longer need to depend on banks to move money around. By getting involved in cryptocurrency, they create that anonymity, and so they're able to move money just as quickly without being caught, because in the banking system, it's on trail, right? Whereas with crypto, it's very difficult to investigate a trail for a bad actor once they use crypto. It's also that we've seen an increased use of complex corporate structures and intermediaries. And this includes a lot of shell companies, right? Third-party facilitators, as well as multi-jurisdictional legal vehicles. And they use that to obscure beneficial ownership, transactional intent. And these schemes really weave a web that frustrates tracing and enforcement. Because if you don't know what you don't know at the end of the day, you know, and with these things, it just makes it a lot easier to hide, you know. But finally, technological innovation, especially around AI and automation, has doubled, not just as a tool for us as compliance, but really it has developed as a vector for evasion. That's the reality. Because they can simply, if they want to know something, they can log on to a ChatGPT and tell what information they want to know, and they will get the results for whatever they're looking for. And so emerging research, sorry?
Yeah. I thought you were wrapping up. Yeah. You can wrap up.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to wrap up shortly. So emerging research and enforcement commentary point to the advanced analytics and automation to manipulate data streams and generate misleading documentation or optimization strategies against conventional detection rules. These trends undergo a critical reality. Sanctions enforcement is now part of an escalating cat and mouse. That's the reality. As enforcement tools become more sophisticated, so too do the tactics of those who seek to evade them. And this has become a challenge for government regulators, financial institutions, because they now have to keep pace with these innovations. And not just keep pace, but they now have to anticipate what the bad actors will do. You know, so it's important that frameworks develop and evolve as quickly as these risks evolve. Have that team on our side to sit around and with evaluations in order for to give you an understanding as to what you need to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fiona. Thank you so much.
Like I said, don't go away. I've still got you, on cards. Thank you so much. I mean, I really like that part where you stress about the maritime, the crypto one, and especially the maritime one. You know, given what is happening in the world over today, you see, it got to a point. Thinking means, okay, is all these sanctions database we have, the consolidated, are they up to date? Are they using current technology, like you mentioned, automatic identification systems? You know, these are the kind of things. Is it plausible when we do all them searches and try to identify, and verify some customers? But all these are really eye-opening for us as well, for me as well, especially. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So I'm not strong into the as well. And they go 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I know. So I'll ask the question around financial crime trends. How are environmental crimes feeding into financial crime typologies across Europe and Africa?
Okay, thank you very much for that. I think I'll start by saying, first of all, financial crime typologies across Europe and Africa, we already know the linkage in that quite a lot of crime occurs, some crime occurs in Africa, which the proceeds of this, and that's in Europe. When we talk about environmental crime, it used to be an issue, so when it's kind of on its own, but now it's no longer an issue. It can be seen as core financial crime typology now, or what you call the predicate offense across Europe and Africa. So there is very large illicit proceeds, and then relies on the same professional enablers that you see in your typical laundering schemes, in traditional organized crime. What you see most clearly is the area of illegal logging, where you talk about things like wildlife trafficking, illegal mining, and waste dumping, so things like that. So these activities are often controlled by organized networks that also traffic drugs, they traffic people, they traffic arms. So there's an intersection there. The proceeds of these are then laundered through things like trade-based laundering schemes, and under invoicing of commodities, cash-intensive front businesses, and certain export routes into Europe. There are corrupt payments to official licenses and ignoring inspections or smuggling, which cause environmental harm, but also it kind of intermingles bribery and corruption as well. So there's a connection there. When it's Europe, it's a little bit of a different picture, but it is linked, because where you have demand for raw materials, timber, exotic species, and even some carbon credits, that creates kind of a pull factor. You see these professional money laundering networks using shell companies, complex structures, and cross-border payments to move the proceeds of and profit environmental crime, which some African those countries. I see a convergence with sanctions evasion and time, where environmentally damaging activities are carried out in these high-risk or conflict-affected regions. So from a financial crime perspective, I would say that environmental crime cuts across all these several typologies, generates large volumes of illicit proceeds. So that's one aspect. Then it relies on corruption to function, and then involves organized crime groups, and therefore touches on the sanctions and the fraud element. And like you talked about green claims or sham carbon projects, that's also kind of a fraudulent aspect. And for banks and regulators, it means that environmental flags and red flags such as suspicious commodity flow, opaque supply channels, or repeated environmental violations should be treated as not just environmental crime in themselves, but also as a financial crime indicator. You know, so not just a sustainability issue, but they should also be seen as financial crime indicators, because where are the proceeds going to go? They have to be laundered. So there's that intermingling between environmental crime and financial crime between Europe and Africa.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much indeed. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And still within time, and I will go swiftly into bringing back Matthew into Matthew. I want to talk about governance this time around again now. Governance, culture, and reputation in 3 minutes, Matthew. And if you can just say, my question goes to say, how can boards embed risk-aware culture in fast-moving regulatory It's Matthew.
Oh, 3 minutes. Okay, right. How can we do it? Look, we're all common. I think we're all familiar with the 3-line model. Some operate on a 4-line model. Some crazy even have a 5-line model. The idea is business should have awareness of risk throughout its model, however many buckets you've got in there. So, however, let's do 3 lines for my 3 minutes. The operations, if the operations don't know the risk as it hits them in the face, they can't manage risk. Therefore, second line has to do their job in compliance to ensure that the first line are doing their job, and in the third line, audit, well, they're kicking the tires to make sure that we're maintaining that awareness and knowledge. So coming back to something I think I said in my last 2 answers, it's about education. If we're not educating people, if we're not telling them how things work, it's all going to fail. Everything that all our fine speakers have been talking about today is not going to help if we're not educating the whole business rather than part of the business. So educating the workforce, the board, the C-suite, all the way down to the receptionist. We obviously need to integrate into the governance framework, so that comes back to making sure that we've got real-time information flowing in. We haven't got compliance officers pitching up with Excel spreadsheets that are already 3 months old in regard to data that happened ages ago. We want to know what's happened this morning if it's a board meeting this afternoon. How do we do that? Well, we need to be getting into that technology that's available, and it's available for free or very low cost in a lot of instances. So making sure that holistically we're addressing all of these matters, technology, but with culture, making sure that we're reminding everybody why this is important. So we're talking about the previous subject, environmental crimes. You know, crime is awful. It's an evil thing. I've literally half listening to you and noticed that Nationwide have just been fined by the FCA in the United Kingdom. Now, as far as I'm aware, Nationwide are highest to see organisations, yet they managed to facilitate 26 million COVID fraud. And apparently that went through a personal private client account in 8 days. Now, culture says to me that this thing that isn't right. Where's the red flag? Where are we building it? So if Nationwide are relying on computers, we can't build computers, culture of humans, ensuring ethics, integrity, and transparency are working. So let's make sure that we have dealt with the human aspect of this. That then comes back to open communication and psychology. Now, I'm not a psychologist, but what we want to avoid is fear of reporting. Those that know the airline industry, their open communications in regard to errors and emissions is fantastic. That's why planes don't drop out of the air. Financial services don't work like that. They're scared to death of reporting breaches. Why? Because the regulator loves fining people not for money laundering, but for not demonstrating they prevent and detect money laundering. That's crazy. So let's make sure that we're not scared of saying, look, we made a mistake, let's share that mistake, and we can all learn from that mistake. Because if everybody was sharing how rubbish their IT was and their AI was, we could all learn from that as an industry. But we're not going to do that because the regulator will come and fine us. So on that bombshell, as an industry, let's continually assess where our risks is. There's no competitive reason for not sharing that information, and then we can collectively refine this industry. I know your words at the beginning were, why are we doing this? Well, we want to protect the integrity of the market, not our business. It's integrity of the jurisdiction, the market, all of that can only be done by collective work together. So let's get the regulator on board. We're all in this together. Let's stop beating people up for making silly mistakes. Let's get that out in the open. There's my 3 minutes, and I'm going to be going in 10 minutes.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Thank you. I mean, because of the time we have, I mean, I know if I allow you, you're going to go on and on and on with practical information, practical knowledge, and I know every one of us as well have got one or two areas, aspects where the regulators see not being fair, overtly too harsh. And thank you for the information about Nationwide. So I'm going to read about it later on. And yes, let's move on. I'll bring it in, Didi, very quickly. Didi, I'll give you 2 minutes if that's okay. So still talk about governance here. So how can research trends around ethics and misconduct shape governance practice? We're looking at 2026. Just in 2 minutes. Just summarize it for us, Didi, please.
Thank you. And I do agree with Matthew about the death of Excel. We should move on from just strict compliance and tick boxes more into like a culture and kind of an understanding of what we're doing rather than just working with those sheets, if you like. And thanks for the FCA information as well, Matthew. I just saw that. I found that interesting. But on this point, I think in 2026, governance practices will be defined by more evidence-driven behavioral and anticipatory approach. So already, I think research trends around ethics and misconduct are already shaping expectations. Hopefully, we'll see more of how it influences boards with setting the culture and overseeing risks and designing controls. First of all, I think the first thing is looking at behavioral research. It should, and I think it is giving us a more kind of nuanced understanding of why misconduct occurs. So not just the fact that it actually happens, but why. So not just looking at the individual factors, but looking at the systemic drivers. So incentive structures, the presence or absence of psychological safety, and the organizational identity in itself. So essentially the culture of the organization. So as this grows, I suppose, and I'm hopeful that boards will now be expected to move beyond, like I said, compliance-led governance towards more cultural governance with clearer accountability, ethical making, the tone, obsolete tone, and aligning their values. Secondly, I think research on misconduct patterns is also showing the predictive value of non-financial indicators, like I mentioned earlier, but also things like employee sentiment, whistleblowing trends, supplier conduct, and also certain controversies that we've seen around governance. So hopefully in 2020, leading firms will integrate these insights into their, what I'll call a dynamic risk assessment. Fantastic. And then also there's the just last bit of academic work. So I have part of me is an academic being, and academic work on algorithmic ethics and data governance is also shaping expectations around responsible AI, around fairness, and around transparency. So as more business processes become automated, boards will then be required to demonstrate active oversight of this decision making, not just from a technology perspective, but from an ethical and conduct risk standpoint.
Thank you. Fantastic. We're doing well with time, but a little bit out, about 2-3 minutes. But I think I've been so much informed today with what I heard. So I will just skip one of the sessions now, and I will compress everything into the last speech. We'll talk about Horizon here now, and it's a free session now. Free session. We'll talk about the 2025-2026 Horizon. What's next? So on this session here, I've got 5 minutes, probably free contributions from anybody, but it has to be 1 minute each. Now, just tell us, what do you think? What strategic move organization must make before Q2 2026 to stay ahead of risk? Just 1 minute. If freelance, no particularly Fiona, everybody, just 1 minute.
Just quick,
less than a
just
minute.
quickly,
Yeah.
while I'm here and unmuted, I'll just quickly say that I think one strategic move that I think organizations should make before the second quarter of 26 is to integrate this real-time intelligence that we're talking about across fin crime, cyber, ESG, conduct, and geopolitical risks into a single enterprise risk architecture, if possible. So most people manage those risks in silos at the moment, but as we can see, and from what we've discussed today, the threat landscape is converging. So fraud is intersecting with cyber attacks, environmental crime, like I said earlier, is intersecting with money laundering flow, and sanctions exposure. So by 26, that can't see connections in real time will struggle. And I think that should be the thought. How do we integrate them so that we're able to tackle them together?
Fantastic. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Matthew. Please, I know you're gonna go by 1 o'clock. Yeah, let's just get your thoughts, please, about Horizon. What next? 2025, 2026 strategic move. Just one thing we need to do to stay ahead.
Oh, one thing okay. One thing you need to do is just look at your business, determine where you are in the journey in regard to your capacity, and don't panic. As I mentioned right at the beginning of this, it's about evolution, not revolution. Fear of missing out and all this fear that sometimes is spread, because we've talked about lots of good stuff, but again, a lot of what we're talking about, the capacity to do something in such a short period of time is only a luxury for large organizations. A lot of financial, in fact, majority of businesses, financial services businesses in the UK and elsewhere are probably below 20 bums on seats. They do not have the capacity to do everything that we talk about within the next 2 quarters. So it's identify your risks, target the highest risk, and then work your way through those risks over a period of time. That's me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Matthew. Thank you. So I'll go quickly into Cassie. Cassie, your thoughts? What do you think we need to do to stay ahead of risk 2026? Just on 1 minute.
Thank you very much. The critical skill set for 26 is the regulatory translation and data literacy. We must become very, very fluent in compliance so that the compliance is automated in the data and the systems, all of which is producing risk. Therefore, we must have the model literacy on how LLMs, machine learning, data pipelines, they are working. And we must also have API fluency so that we can transact data in real time and focus on the zero latency compliance.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Cassie. And Fiona, just one more for you. Your thoughts, 2026. What are we looking at?
Sure,
One thing
I'll
we
give
need
you.
to stay ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do 2. I'll give you 2 quick nuggets that can be implemented quite easily. I would say cooperation and collaboration. Just as Didi mentioned, if the key departments, cybersecurity, risk, compliance, collaborate together, that's monumental, and you'll see tremendous results from that, especially with the IT team. And the other thing is, it's important to keep your board informed. So by documenting, keeping the board informed, I think that's 2 nuggets that can be easily implemented on a short basis before Q2 2026.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. I think I've got, as we're talking, everybody's talking, I'm taking notes here as well. And just like what Matthew echoed and re-emphasized, education is key. I've learned so much today. And I want to say thank you very much. And just before we go to the vote of thanks, I know Matthew leaves 7, but I just want to go straight in. I need direct questions now in the next 5 minutes. Questions. Have we got any questions from anyone on the audience? For me, I've taken enough so much, and I feel like going on and on and on and on. But have we got any questions? Anybody got questions? Something you need to know? Let me see the chat room. Has anybody asked any questions there? Okay, Matthew, thank you so much. Has anybody got any question? Anything you want to know about GRC, about Horizon, about what do we want to know? Okay, like I said, I know the panelists and the keynote speakers, they are very generous with the materials, and they're gonna make it available, the recording as well. I know the admin are gonna make sure they do the right thing, so we can all have access to this session. And yeah, just before we go, like I said, the program still continues. The it's a two event in one. We've just been done with the first part, which is a summit, and the second part is the awards. So please, all delegates, so please, we encourage you to join the awards starting at 1:15. I've got a contribution here from Sinead. It says, board's composition. Do panelists agree with diversity of board for proper and adequate diversity of thought? Wow, wonderful. This is fantastic question. I've got two mystical panelists now. I've got Fiona, I've got Cassie, I've got Ndidi. Can we react to this quickly, if that's part of what we can get from our wealth of knowledge, please? Board composition. Do we agree with diversity of the board for proper and adequate thoughts? Is that a good practice to be? We'll go. Cassie, you want to help us first? No particular order?
Sure. Well, diversity and equity and inclusiveness, the DEI, is very important. However, at the current stage, in the current scenario, we have to be a little bit careful because Mr. Donald Trump has asked all American companies not to focus on diversity and inclusivity and equity. So therefore, by a directive, the U.S. companies are obliged not to focus on it. However, most European, most global companies are focusing on diversity, because diversity does ensure that many things are taken into consideration right from the top of the organization, together with the tone at the top and the rest of the organization as it filters down. So therefore, we have downplayed diversity a little bit, even though it is, because if you want to work with U.S. companies, you know, you cannot highlight the diversity component. However, in the board composition, it's a different matter. You do not necessarily need to broadcast that you are focusing on diversity. You just go ahead and do it. So, just a word of caution, not to focus too much on diversity, at least not on your websites and annual reports and so on.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much, Cassie. Fiona, your thoughts on the minute?
Sure. I would say it depends on the culture of the organization. Some boards allow for diversity and some don't. It really depends on the culture of the organization, whether it's a private organization or a public organization. That determines diversity. But I do think it's a critical component for an effective board that the board be diversified. That way you have different schools of thought coming in and sharing ideas and opining on key concepts or key business strategies that the board would like to implement going forward.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much, Indy. Your thoughts, diversity of the board. What do we stand to gain if they're diverse board members? Oh, I think I lost that momentarily there. But I bet you that's the last question for. Okay, have we got her back? Okay, I think we've lost Ndidi momentarily there. So I think any other question again, pending when she comes back. Anybody who's got any burning issues, any question you want to ask, anything you want to share, contribute? we've got just a minute, so we can all swing into the second half of the program. I think the admin will be generous to give us much break for us to. All right. But my time is 12:59, and I'm going to give us 5 minutes back, which means I'm going to bring this summit into a close with a sincere vote of thanks. And on behalf of myself and the sponsors of this year's summit, and the someone got a question. Okay, no, go. So as I say, sorry for that. So on behalf of myself, the sponsors, all the admins, and the management team of the whole event, this thing, I want to say thank you for attending this year's summit. Your attendance is not taken for granted, and hopefully, I understand these programs are held annually or biannually. So, and the main thing about it is to foster that cooperation, like Fiona said, to foster that cooperation, that understanding, and that mutual cooperation, so that and any predicates. And you to stay much, and
Thanks, bye.
See you later. What's the word? Almost actually. I mean, money.
Okay, good afternoon to everybody. This is our yearly governance, risks, compliance, and financial crime preventions award and summit. Earlier today, we have the privilege to have our honorable speakers and keynote speakers helping to put some lights into some topical issues, which I believe was a very, very successful one. And we believe all our attendees had some clarity or additional information with the information provided by all of our estimable speakers. Now we are moving straight over to the award and summit. The award summit. Okay, so to start with, 6 years ago, we have been able to commence this award ceremony. We invite individual and organization within financial services and also non-financial services, and people, organizations that have been behaving or they have been helping to champion good initiative, helping to drive compliance, effective controls across industries. We have been able to identify them, recommend them, and also say thank you for championing or driving those changes in Africa and also in Europe. This year, we are championing or leading the inaugural Europe edition, which is why we are gathered here today to help to say thank you to our top finalists, our nominees, and our eventual winners today at this inaugural event hosted by the Morgans Consortium. All right. Without wasting much of our time this afternoon, we have a list of nominees, finalists. All of our finalists, they have been so exemplary, they have been so excellent in helping to drive, meet, and be champion across all sectors. And the decision made has not come easy. We have went through a very full process where the members of the public has helped in helping to shape the decision in the course of this process. We also have a process where our judges, which are also independent individual with great experience, ex-industry in their area of specialization across the world, and they have helped to provide independent assessment evaluation on all the nominees and come away from a decision that has helped us to narrow and shortlist the top three or the top three finalists at this award ceremony this afternoon. The award ceremony for this afternoon is for the Europe edition of the 2025 Governance, Risks and Compliance Financial Crime Prevention 2025. The admin can help me here to present the finalists across all the category. Can I have that on the screen, please? Okay, so in this category award, we have the achievements categories of award in banking, 2025 governance, risks and compliance, 2025 GRC and Financial Crime Preventions Awards, Achievements Award category, for organizational excellence in financial prevention. These are the finalists. So, investment managers, Hamondi and JP Morgan's Asset Management. The winner in this category is AXA Investment Managers. AXA Investment Managers are a global asset manager offering global and diversified arrays of investment solutions from equity, bonds to private markets and alternative with strong efforts in investing and ESG long-term value. If we have any representative from AXA Investment Managers, can we just have a thumbs up somewhere or have a comment in the chat to just say, yep, we've got a representative of AXA Managers on the call. Thank you very much. Can we go to the next finalist? Okay, the next finalist under the Achievement Award for Organizational Excellence in Governance, Risk Compliance, GRC. The finalists here are Amundi Asset Management, AXA Investment Managers, JP Morgan's Assets, and the winner is JP Morgan's Asset Management. JP Morgan's Asset Manager is the winner of the Organizational Excellence in Governance, Risk and Compliance 25. JP Morgan is one of the leading global investment managers, delivering comprehensive investment solutions across asset classes, region, and market cycles. With over a century expertise, the firm manages assets for institutions, government, corporation, and investors worldwide. JP Morgan is the winner of Organizational Excellence in Governance, Risk and Compliance, Europe edition. Thank you. And if you have any representative from JP Morgan's, please can you just leave a comment on the session that we can recognize you on the call. We have the next category, please. The next category of award is Organizational Excellence in Financial Crime Prevention under the Achievements Award Insurance category. AXA Mansard Insurance PLC, Lloyd's Insurance, and Zurich Insurance Group. And the winner is Lloyd's Insurance London. Lloyd's London is a world-leading special insurance and reinsurance marketplace known for underwriting and complex high risks and large-scale exposure that traditional insurance often cannot accommodate. They were established in 1698 and also operate a unique marketplace where brokers and underwriters cooperate to provide tailored insurance solutions across all industries and geographies. Lloyd's Insurance is a winner in this category for Organizational Excellence in Financial Crime Prevention Awards under the insurance sector. Congratulations to Lloyd's. Next category, please. The next category of award is Organizational Excellence in Governance, Risk and Compliance under insurance. Zurich Insurance Group, Accent Insurance, and Lloyd's Insurance. And the winner is again, Lloyd's is the winner for the Organizational Excellence in Governance, Risk and Compliance under the Insurance Category Achievement Award Europe. Congratulations to Lloyd's team. Next, please. Achievement Award Europe under FinTech fintech, regtech, and paytech sector, organizational excellence in financial crime prevention. The finalists are Klarna, Banking Cycle, and Starling Bank. And the winner is Starling Bank. Starling Bank is a winner under the FinTech, RegTech, and PayTech sector organizational excellence in financial crime prevention award. Starling Bank is a leading UK digital-only bank known for its innovative mobile-first approach to personal and business banking. It was founded in 2014. Starling Bank has redefined the modern banking with intuitive technology, real-time money management tools, and strong focus on transparency and customer empowerment. Congratulations to Starling Bank team, United Kingdom. Next, please. Achievement Award under the FinTech and RegTech PayTech sector, organizational excellence in governance, risks, compliance, and GRC. Six. Cycle and Northern Asset Management, JP Morgan's Asset Management, and the winner is Northern Asset Management. Northern Asset Management is one of the leading asset managers in Nordic region, offering broad range investment solutions to all institutional clients, distributors, and also individual investors across Europe and beyond. As a part of Nordea Group, one of the largest financial institutions in the region, NAMS combine global reach with deep local expertise. Next, please. We're still under the assets and wealth management sector. Organizational excellence hand in governance, risk compliance, GRC. Finalists her asset investment managers, JP Morgan Assets Management, Invesco, and the winner is JP Morgan's Asset Management. Next category, please. Okay, so we're continuing under the credit union and building society, organizational excellence in financial crime prevention. These are our finalists. Scottish Police Credit Union, Nationwide Building Society, London Capital Credit Union, and the winner is, can we have the winner? Nationwide Building Society. Nationwide Building Society is a UK largest building society of the world most trusted member-owned financial institution. Founded under mutual value, Nationwide operates for the benefit of its members rather than for the external shareholders, ensuring that value is reinvested into better services, competitive rates, and also long-term stability. The awards for achievements award under the Organization Excellence in Financial Crime Prevention Award under the Credit Union and Business Society sector. Congratulations to Nationwide family. Next category, please. The next award category finally is her Organizational Excellence in Governance, Risks, and Compliance. Nationwide Building Society again, Scottish Police Credit Union, London Capital Credit Union, and the winner is can we have the winner? The winner is London Capital Credit Union. London Capital Credit Union is one of the leading UK community-focused financial cooperatives, offering affordable and ethical for invested in improving services and reducing costs and supporting local financial well-being. Congratulations to London Capital Credit Union for going home with the award of excellence in governance, risk, and compliance under the credit union and business society sector. Thank you. Next category of award, please. Next category. Okay. This is under this public sector award. Excellence in public sector, parastatals on governance, risks, compliance award. The finalist her Civil Aviation Authority, Financial Conduct Authority, National Cybersecurity Center, and the winner of this award, Excellence Award Europe Public Sector, for excellence in the public sector. The winner is Financial Conduct Authority, FCA. FCA is the United Kingdom leading financial regulator responsible for overseeing the conduct and integrity of transparency of financial markets and consumer services. Established in 2013, the FCA operates independent government regulating more than 50,000 financial institutions to ensure fair competition and robust consumer protection. Congratulations to Financial Conduct Authority, United Kingdom. Next category, please. Help am I still audible?
Yes, sir, but in between it's fluctuating.
All right, can we have can I have the winner, please? You see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, so and the winner for this category is PwC. PwC is a world-leading professional service network providing assurance, advisory, and tax services to businesses, governments, and institutions across more than 150 countries. Known for deep industry expertise and global reach, PwC help organizations to navigate complex challenges, transforming operations and manage risks and achieve sustainable growth. PwC is the winner of the Excellence Award Europe under the Healthcare and Life Science for GRC and Free Crime Prevention. Congratulations to PwC Group. The next category of award is the Excellence Award Europe under the Law Enforcement and Intelligence Agencies. the excellence in law enforcement and agencies. Everyone knows how important security and intelligence is across Europe. And these institutions have distinguished themselves to be a leader in helping to provide the intelligence that's required, the enforcement that's required within the European society. On top of our finalist list is the City of London Police, the Directorate of Military Intelligence, G2, and the Metropolitan Police Service, MPS. And the winner is Metropolitan Police Service. The Metropolitan Police Service, also known as the Met, is the United Kingdom's largest police force, responsible for law enforcement, public safety, and crime prevention across Greater London, excluding the City of London, established in 1829, with the MPS plays a central role in protecting the world diverse dynamic cities. Congratulations to the Metropolitan Police Service for winning the award under the Law Enforcement and Intelligence Service sector. The next category of award. The next award category for excellence under the utility providers for the GRC and financial crime prevention excellence. The finalists are Scottish Power, Centrical, SSE PLC, and the winner is under the utility providers. Centrical. Centrical is the winner under this category and is a leading British multinational energy service company, primarily focused on supplying electricity, gas, energy related to services, residential and business customer. As the parent company of British Gas, Centrical operates across the UK, North Africa, Europe, and providing energy solution, smart home technology, and energy management services. Congratulations to Centrical. The next category of award under the health care provider, public and private sector. Excellence in healthcare financial services, and the finalists are UMed, University College London, Hospital NHS Foundation Trust, UCLH, Oxford University Hospital NHS Foundation Trust, and the winner is University College London Hospital NHS Foundation Trust. University College London Hospital NHS Foundation Trust is a leading health provider in the United Kingdom, delivering world-class clinical services, research, and education across multiple hospitals in London. Affiliated with University College London, UCLH, combined cutting-edge medical expertise with innovative research to provide high-quality patient care across specialties, including cancer, neurology, transplantation, and critical care. Congratulations to UCLH for going home with this award of excellence in healthcare in financial crime excellence award. Next category of award. The next category of award to present here is the Excellence Award in Pharmaceutical Governance, Risks and Compliance Ethical Practice. The finalists are Novartis, UCB, GlaxoSmithKline, GSK. And the winner is GSK. GSK is a global healthcare company headquartered United Kingdom, focused on pharmaceutical, vaccine, and consumer healthcare products. With a long history of scientific innovation, GSK develops and delivers medicine, vaccines, and healthcare solutions that improve the quality of life for people worldwide. Congratulations to GSK for going home with this award of excellence in pharmaceutical governance, compliance, and ethical practice award. The next category of award is under transportation and logistic. GRC and Financial Crime Prevention Excellence Award, and these are the finalists: FedEx Express, Maersk, and Save Logistic, and the winner is FedEx Express. Established in 1971, FedEx Express revolutionary logistics with overnight delivery service and continue to connect businesses and consumers across more than 220 countries and territories. FedEx Express is a winner of the Excellence Award Transportation and Logistics, GRC, and Financial Crime Prevention Award. Congratulations to the winner of this award. Okay, the next category award under telecommunication excellence utility service provider, and these are our finalists: Orange, Vodafone Group, Deutsche Telekom, and the winner is Orange. Orange is a leading global telecommunication operator headquartered in France, providing video services on mobile and also fixed line broadband and digital services to millions of customers worldwide, with operations spanning from Europe, Africa, and Middle East. Orange delivers connectivity, data services, and innovative digital solutions to businesses, individual, and also in public sector. Orange is the winner under the Telecommunication Utility Service Providers Award. Congratulations to Orange family. Okay, the next award under Estate and Construction, Legal and Real Estate Sector Excellence Award under the GRC and Financial Crime Prevention, and these are our finalists: British Land, Merlin Properties, and Vonovia, and the winner is British Land. British Land is one of the United Kingdom's largest and the most influential real estate investment company, specializing in the ownership, development, and management of high-quality commercial properties. They are the winner under the category of real estate and construction, and they are going home with the award of the best in governance, risks, and compliance. Okay, the next category of award is still under the Transportation and Logistic, GRC and Financial Crime Prevention Achievement Award, Transportation Sector. The finalists are Virgin Atlantic, Airbus, British Airways, and the winner is British Airways. British Airways, it is the United Kingdom flagship airline and one of the world's leading international carrier, connecting millions of passengers to over 180 destinations across more than 80 countries. Founded in 1974, headquartered in London, BA is renowned for its commitment to quality and operational excellence and safety. Congratulations to British Airways, also known as BA, for Excellence Award, Europe, Transportation and Logistic. The next category of award under the energy and oil and gas sector. And these are our finalists: Equinor, Shell, OMV, Petrom, and the winner is Shell. Shell is also known as Shell PLC and is one of the leading or world largest energy company operating across the entire energy value chain, from exploration to production to refining, distribution, also renewable energy solution. Headquartered in the United Kingdom, Shell supplies energy products and services to millions of customers globally and include fuel, lubricant, and natural gas and petrochemicals and low carbon energy technologies. Shell PLC is a winner of Europe Energy, Oil and Gas under the Financial Crime Prevention Award. Congratulations to Shell's family. Okay, the next award under the Charity and NGOs for GRC and Financial Crime Prevention's Award, All Firms International, Catholic Relief Services, Transparency International, and the winner is All Firm International. All Firm International is a global confederation of charitable organizations working together to tackle poverty, inequality, and injustice in more than 90 countries. Established in 1995, Often unite partners, volunteers, and communities to address the root cause of poverty through humanitarian relief, long-term development programs, and advocacy for systemic change. Often International is the winner of Charity and NGOs categories for the GRC and Financial Crime Prevention Award of Excellence. Congratulations to Orphan's family. The next category of award under the Aviation and Aerospace. Aviation and Aerospace, GRC and Financial Crime Prevention Excellence Award category. Thales Alliance Space, Aerox, and Airbox Aircraft, and the winner is Airbox. Airbox is a global leader in aerospace manufacturing and innovation, specializing in design and production and support of commercial aircraft, defense systems, space technology, and helicopter solution. Headquartered in Europe and operating nationwide, Airbus is known for its engineering excellence, advanced safety standard, and cutting-edge aviation technology. Congratulations to Airbus family for winning the award under the Aviation and Aerospace sector. Congratulations. The next category of award is the ESG Initiative Award of the Year. The finalists are Novo Nordisk, Scottish Power, Centrico. The winner again under the ESG Award of the Year goes to Centrico. Centrico is a leading British multinational energy services company, primarily focused on supplying electricity and gas and energy-related services to residential, business, and customer. As a parent company of British Gas, Centrico operates across all UK, North America, Europe, and providing energy solutions, smart home technology, and energy management services. Congratulations to Centrico family. Okay, the next category of award is more of an individual award category under the Excellence Award, Influencers Award. This award finalists are Martin Overmars. Martin Overmars is a partner in working with Latham and Wake and Watkins. And the next on the finalist is Matty Peck, also a partner with Latham and Watkins organization. Also, Alex Eagle is also a partner within the Wells and Godster Mangus LLP, and the winner under these categories of award is Alex Eagle. Alex Eagle is a distinguished partner at the Wells and Godster and Manning LLP, recognized for his in complex corporate restructuring, insolvency, and financial advisory matters. With extensive experience representing debtors, lenders, and distressed investors, he provides strategic guidance on high-value restructuring, corporate turnaround, special situation across board insolvency mandate. Congratulations to Alex Eagle for going home or being a winner on the Influencer Award for the GRC and Financial Crime Prevention. Congratulations, our winner. The next award, under the Excellence Award, Team of the Year Award. GRC and Financial Crime Prevention Team of the Year Awards. The finalists are Well Brussels and Latham and Watkins, London. Winner is the Wells Brussels. The Well Gutter Managed LLP Brussels is the key hub of financial key hub for the firm's European competition regulatory and international trade practice, providing strategic legal advice to global corporation, financial institutions, and also private equity clients. Located at the center of EU policymaking, the Brussels team support client navigating complex EU competition law, merger and control, antitrust investigation, and foreign investment regulation and state aid matters. Congratulations to Wells Brussels. The next category of award under the Excellence Award Europe is for the Internal Audit and Assurance Champions Award. The finalists are Patrick Brendan. Patrick Brendan is a partner at the London finance practice Well Godso and Manns LLP. Alex Hagel is a partner at the Wells and Godso Money LLP, and Martin Overmars, the partners Latham and Watkins. And the winner is Alex Eagle. Alex Eagle is a winner once again as the Excellence Award Internal Audit Assurance Champion. Congratulations to Patrick Eagle and the team at Wells, Godso, and Mangus LLP. Okay, so the next award on this category is quite very important. Everyone knows how important is the cybersecurity and data all around the world, and it's important to make sure that the right individual goes home in helping to champion cyber security and data management in Europe. And we'll have this fantastic free high-profile professionals competing against one another under this category, and it would be nice to know or to find out who the winner actually is. The first person we have is Hayub Fandi. Hayub Fandi is Security and Assurance Automation Lead at GitLab. The second one I have here is Elena Prechkova. He's the CEO and founder of the Hop Rigs Company Limited. And the third one I have here is Enrique Parkinian. And he also is the Information Security Officer at Wirelesca. And the final winner in this category of award is Enrique Parkinian. Enrique Parkinian is a global recognized security leader from Sweden with over 20 years of career experience. He possesses a broad and deep understanding of today's digital ecosystem, emerging technology and security universe, and also threat landscape. His knowledge is a product of excellence collected from a defensive and offensive security perspective through technical hands-on assignments to management and also leadership role. Congratulations to Enric, and well done for being a champion and a leader, helping to make sure or making the world a safer place. Thank you. Okay, the next category of award under the GRC and Financial Crime Prevention Providers Award Europe, Solution Provider of the Year. This award is also a very, very important award. They are the finalists, and everyone is a winner. However, one organization needs to go home with this award. 1. Comply Advantage. 2. Compliance Suits Info Credit Group. 3. Secure Automation. And the winner is Secure Automation, leading governance risk compliant automation platform designed to help modern businesses simplify and streamline their security compliance and risk management processes. The platform provides a unified and a real-time view of an organization risk posture by integrating workflow, controls, and audits, and continuous monitoring into a single, easy-to-use system. Congratulations to this team at Secure Automation for being the best GRC and Financial Crime Prevention Solution Provider of the Year in Europe award. Congratulations. Okay, the next category of award under the Providers Award category is the best GRC and Financial Crime Prevention Training Provider of the Year. This category is a very, very well competitive category of award. I can tell you that for free, and I'm sure that the top finalists, everyone would not, dispute this top finalist. So we have GLOMAC, first runner-up, followed by the International Compliance Association, ICA, and also the third runner-up here is the EU GDPR Institute of GRC A certification, and the winner is ICA, the International Compliance Institute. With a global presence in over 150 countries, ICA supports individual organizations through internationally recognized qualifications, specialist training programs, and a vibrant community of compliance professionals. Congratulations to ICA for being the best trader in governance, risk compliance, and financial crime prevention. Okay, the next award is the best GRC and financial crime prevention advisory and managed share services of the year, Europe. The finalists are FENAGO, NCC Group, ACA Group, and the winner is FENAGO. FENAGO, under the Providers Award for the best GRC and financial crime prevention advisory and managed share services. FENAGO is a global leader in clients lifecycle management, know your customer, KYC, and regulatory compliance technology for financial institutions, trusted by major banks, asset managers, and fintech worldwide. FENAGO provide end-to-end digital solutions that streamline onboarding and enhance due diligence, and also ensure adherence to complex regulatory requirements across multiple jurisdictions. Congratulations to FENAGO team for being the best in GRC and financial crime prevention advisory and managed services provider in Europe this year. Okay, the next award here is for the best GRC and financial crime prevention recruitment and talents firm of the year. Everyone knows how important it is to have or to get the right recruitment partner in helping to make sure that the right individuals or professionals are recruited as part of your workforce. And this organization have distinguished themselves in making sure that we hire the right talent that would be an asset to various organizations across Europe. And the first on the list of finalists is the ACA Group, followed by the GCW Resourcing, then by the Robert Waters PLC, and the winner is ACA Group. ACA Group is a leading governance, risk, and compliance advisory and technology firm providing comprehensive solution to financial services organization worldwide. They specialize in helping investment banks and broker dealers, private equity firms, hedge firms, and fintech navigate complex regulatory environment, strategic compliance framework, and mitigate operational and financial crime risks. Congratulations to ACA Group for being the best GRC and financial crime prevention recruitment and talent firm of the year, Europe. Congratulations. Okay, the next category of award under the Promoters Award Europe, GRC and Financial Crime Reporter and TV Station category. The finalists are Brett Wolf, Senior Editor, Cube Regulatory Intelligence, Stephanie Gilbert, Speaker, author, and member of Academia International de la Banca Assurance, Europol Financial and Economic Crime Center, EFECC Media Team, and the winner is Europol's Financial and Economic Crime Center Media Team stands at the forefront of the mission in ensuring that critical intelligence enforcement actions and preventive insight reach global stakeholders quickly and effectively. As custodian of Europol Financial Crime Communication, EFECC Media Team plays a vital role in shaping public understanding of threats such as money laundering, fraud, corruption, cyber-enabled financial crime sanctions evasion, organized crime infiltration, and illicit financial flows. Congratulations to Europol team for being the leader and the best in helping to champion or promoting good governance, risk and compliance, financial crime prevention reporter award this year, crime prevention award 2025. Congratulations. Okay, the next category of award is also very, very important as well. Like all the categories of award, all the awards are very important. So this one is for the Women in Governance and Compliance Award